let me share today what being a sensei taught me about improving. So first about me, like Bert-Jan said, I'm a founder of Open Value Amsterdam. I'm also a developer and architect at JPoint. You can find me on Twitter. There's no room for questions today, so feel free to ask any questions on Twitter. So private and professional life have a lot of things in common for me. I like being in a dojo, for example. I like doing katas, and I also like karate. Besides that, I like to code, and that's why I sometimes break things. I'm doing development for over 15 years now, and I'm doing karate for over 30 years now. So at some point I was called Sensei, and I like kanji, the sign language of Japan. Sensei is 2 kanjis, 2 signs, and every kanji is a concept. And together, Sensei is more than, as a teacher. It's like literally translated as a person that's been born before another. Or actually, it indicates some seniority. It indicates also, it shows you achieved a certain level of mastery. So although you're an expert, I also learned a lot of things while being a sensei. One of the examples is, you can be an expert, but that doesn't make you a good teacher, because teaching is very hard. And I'm not only talking about teaching as a lessons, but also as knowledge sharing and overall. And if you think teaching is hard, then meet long-term teaching. And with long-term teaching, I mean trying to improve a person or somebody from A to B. And on the longer term, you need to plan things, etc. It needs also a lot of devotion and energy. And also preparation. I think all of you know who did a presentation before. You need a lot of preparation to transfer your knowledge. Although it costs a lot, it's worth it because you get a lot of things in return. So remember, an expert, like I was a sensei, I became a sensei, I think like 15 years ago or something. I was an expert in karate, but it didn't make me a good teacher yet. If we look at traditional improving, and I'm talking about improving because as a sensei, you're trying to improve the people surrounding you. If you look at traditional improving, we do it normally as we observe, we categorize things, we look what's happening, and we try to improve those things. We also try to improve the things that are worst. So we call it a code track, or in Dutch, a kapstok technique. So we try to categorize all these things and we hang them at the code track. And we start improving the things that are worst, so the things that are lowest on the code track, and we try to hang them higher. That's how traditional improving is done. I was a kind of a really traditional trainee or traditional sensei. Here you can see me on the summer camp. We're actually punishing the people for not being fast enough. And I did not become a traditional sensei for myself. So my sensei, I learned everything from him. He's Johan van der Hoofdakker. He was one of the first participants in karate in the Netherlands. He's doing it already for more than 60 years. He told me at one point, like, we're doing it all wrong. The way we improve people can be improved. He also gave me a book, Dwelling with Sensei, which is saying something about hierarchy. I don't have enough time to explain it now, but we'll do it maybe next time. So on that journey, we started investigating things, and we saw that there are a couple of teams. They have something in common. And as you can see, they're all orange, they're all Dutch, true, but they have more in common. They were actually on some point at the highest level at their sports. They won Olympic medals, they won the World Championship, etc. They all have something, they have more things in common. They had actually coaches that did things differently. And although they did things differently, they did things differently in the same way, because they improved people by a positive way. They didn't look at the things that are worst, but they looked at the things that are done best. So for example, if you can throw a ball with your right hand better than with your left hand, we're not going to train left hand, but we do right hand, and we can make it even better. It's called positive coaching, or positive improving, or positive feedback, or positive teaching, it doesn't matter. So positive coaching has a couple of rules. First, we're going to observe what's positive. The other thing is that we're going to be task-oriented instead of result-oriented. So we're not going to say our participants like, you need to win, but we're going to say to them, you have to pass 3 times before you score, for example. And we value effort instead of result. So it's not about what the result is, but it is the effort that we're going to value. And we're also going to create a culture where it's okay to fail. Because if people are feeling safe, they perform much better. And every time we give them feedback, we come to do at least 3 compliments. So if we want to give some constructive feedback, we always have also 3 compliments. And with constructive feedback, we use the feedback sandwich. So, for example, if we always use the sentence if then. So I say like, if you do this, then you will improve this. So always try to do it like that. And we ask open questions just to make sure that people do understand what we're saying. And also give open questions how they're feeling. And all of this only works if you are really meaning it. So if you don't mean it, if you don't can come up with 3 compliments, then don't do it. So although we are kind of early adopters of this positive coaching, we started a competition. And we actually found out that the people that we are valuing on the effort instead of the result, we saw them that they are actually also competing in the highest level of the Dutch karate competition. But also when I look better, I also saw that my school, at the school of my kids, they're also using some sort of positive coaching. But even better, when I started to become the coach of the hockey team of my son, I found out that all the Dutch big sport federations, like soccer, hockey, and volleyball, they're offering positive coaching trainings for their amateur and professional coaches. And also, if you talk more and more with professional sporters, you will see that they are actually more and more using this kind of way. But how about software development? Because that's what we do, right? Well, it's also the same. Like with positive software development, we should absorb what's positive. We should also look at the task-oriented instead of result, value the effort more than the result, make a culture that's okay to fail, at least give 3 compliments, etc. And most important, mean it. One of the funny examples, and I think we all recognize, is when we do a retro, we have some sort of lane, so do, don'ts, and start doing or stop doing, etc. But most of the times we group the good things and we look at them like, wow, we did an amazing job, and we immediately go to the things that we need to improve. But why not focus on the things that we're already doing quite well? Why not just make them even better? Because I'm convinced that if we make these things better, I'm sure that these things that are on the worst side, on the side that needs to be improved, they will also become better. Adopt a little bit more positive coaching in the review. So we give compliments. We actually also value the effort more as the result, because nobody wants to make a crappy code. They all want to do their best, and we have to value the effort instead of the result, because it's not a choice to make a bad software. It's actually a choice to not put much effort in it. So I only had 10 minutes. If I was Sander Hovendoor and I could hold my presentation, but I only had 10 minutes for all those years of being Sensei. So what I want to say is look at other areas, because there's a lot of people trying to improve the way they improve. Be positive. I think more focus on the things that are already good will improve the rest. And it's proven by others, so let's do it. Thanks.